Can you say number 5 and number 5 together? What
Double
adds up
nickel.
to be 55. This is episode 55 of the Street Scene Power Hour. Welcome back. We're happy to serve you information and fun every 2 weeks on this show.
Fun?
And especially for me. But then we have Larry Ford, and then we have Rick Guerrero also as our hosts. And welcome, guys. We want to welcome our guests, Marty Sluter. I got it right.
You did.
Mark Robideau. I screwed it up.
Robideau, yes.
See, I did screw it up. I told you I was going to screw it up.
That's kind of simple. Just don't look how it's spelled. And just listen
Mark
to
and Marty.
Robideau.
That's all I have to do. Mark is from Eastwood Products, and he's got a whole list of stuff that he would love to tell you about. And if you haven't checked out Eastwood Products, it's incredible. There's stuff there that you won't be able to find anywhere else. Trust me, and we're going to get into something that I'm passionate about is body work. And
you're good at it.
Well, thanks. Wet sanding helps. That's all I have to say. So
they got a good wet sand. They got a good sander for you then.
I know, right, and Mark? I've been waiting for that one. So Marty, we've also got Marty. This guy, if you don't sit back and listen to these stories, you shouldn't even be here because this guy is the real deal. Everybody. So we're going to start off with some clerical work here. I wanted to mention, I just saw a post, Lowellville Cruising the River starts May 8th. So that starts
right
May
around
8th.
the corner.
We can't wait to see that coming, and reminding of the Piston Power at the end of the month, March 30th or 31st, April 1st and 2nd. Make sure you go up to Cleveland IX Center for that one. That's going to be a good one. Larry, you got any kind of business to take care of while we start here?
Oh man, the racing starts tomorrow from down here in Daytona. We've got flat track twins, and then we have flat track singles on the west side of the track. Volusia County Speedway holds the flat track twins. So, and then the Daytona 200 is Saturday. So should be fun.
That's what the bike's, the 200.
Yep. Yeah. Going crazy. Having fun.
Mm-hmm.
We're a little jealous of Larry's down at Daytona.
Yeah.
So
we hate him.
We're going to cut his segment short a little bit. Just to punish him.
One day you're swimming in the ocean, then you're riding your bike all around, and then you're racing some guys. I did some racing this weekend a couple of days ago.
Oh wow!
Took that old Sportster out and rang it out.
How'd it feel to race? You've had some injuries the last year. So how'd it feel to get back doing that?
Good. Yeah, good. It's amazing. I can't get up and walk out of the swimming pool without stumbling, wobbling, and that. But I can get on that bike and get through the gears and make it look like I know what I'm doing. So I don't know. This is kind of fun.
So you can ride better than you can walk, is what you're saying. Yes. Okay.
Absolutely.
What did you bring down with you, Larry?
I just brought my old 93 1200 Sportster. I got an air cleaner and a jet kit and the pipes, and so it runs pretty good, as some guys found out.
Well, that's
I'll tell you what, when I come to Daytona, I have like one evening that I just kind of go a little crazy, punched it up over the triple digits there, and just for an old antique, it runs pretty good.
Good.
Yeah, but it's not a high booster or
Who's the old antique, the bike or you?
Both.
Yeah.
Both.
One's a classic, one's just an antique. You can take your pick on which one that is.
Yeah, that is the truth too. But
hey,
we just got there's a lot of stuff. I went down to the flea market, and this one flea market is like the size of the Campville Fair, and it's nothing but food. And if you see the pictures I posted up on Facebook, I bought the biggest giant pineapple today. And so we're cooking a pizza out on the grill as we speak. It's waffling in and smelling really good. And then I'm gonna Google how to cut the pineapple up properly. I did learn something today. I asked some guy who looked like he knew what he was doing. I said, "Hey, how do you know which one's a good one?" And he goes, "All you got to do is go right in the center of that pineapple where I call them leaves or whatever come out." And he goes, "If you can pull that center leaf out, that pineapple's ripe and it's ready to go."
Good.
Something on. So
Can't
I
get
did.
any
I
better
found
than
one.
that.
Yeah,
You're not
and
putting
then,
that on your pizza, are you?
Oh,
No.
yeah.
No,
Oh,
and-
yes.
No,
And, you know,
heck no.
yes.
Pineapple on pizza? Yuck.
Oh, you haven't had a pineapple
No.
top pizza? What's wrong with you?
I'm
Vic?
Italian.
Oh,
We got
no,
sauce
the
and
pineapple is
pepperoni.
gonna
Oh,
be
yeah, I
slices.
forgot.
And then I found out a couple interesting things. First of all, you know, I had United, you know, they helped me match up the paint. I wanted to throw a shout out to those guys. They're really cool, really nice.
Yes.
And they did a great job on helping me match the paint up for the Harley. The second thing is, I found out that my 3.1 gallon gas tank runs, I have to go to reserve at 2.2.
Oh, I was going to
So,
say, you know, it'd
here's
be
a-
worse if you found out it was said 3.1. It was actually a 2.6. And then you went,
Yeah.
yes.
And here's the other thing that's crazy. Today, because I had a couple bikes and I remember turning it on, you know, it's carburetor, manual, petcock, but I couldn't remember where reserve was. And oddly enough, I looked underneath there and saw that I got to turn it completely to the top. And man, we're buzzing around about 65 mile an hour and really pretty bad traffic. And didn't that thing shut off? Ugh. I mean, almost like a fuel injected bike just shut off.
Yep.
And boy, I hit the starter, nothing happened. So I pulled in the clutch like in freewheel, reached underneath there and turned that lever up to reserve and hit that button. And about a tenth of a second, she fired right up. And man, I was like, thank you, Jesus.
Yeah.
And I
You could
meant
be-
that.
You could be like me on my Volkswagen, my reserve, that old Volkswagen. I had it on reserve and I ran out of gas. And I'm like, and I flipped it over. I'm like, wait, that's backwards.
Where's the reserve at now? Is that on the floor like?
It's
or
on the
something?
floor under the dashboard. It's just a lever you turn. You can kick it with your foot because there's no
Okay.
gas gauge in it. So,
Yeah.
Rick.
Uh-huh.
And then I looked at a bunch of bikes yesterday down at the Ducati, Triumph, BMW dealer. It was pretty neat. BMW is trying to copy the Harley bagger bikes. They came out with what they call the R1800, 1800cc twin. I mean, it is a massive motor. You know, the jugs stick out sideways, so you could see them very easily.
Mhm.
So these guys from Germany, and they didn't speak too good English. You know, I saw the crate over there, and they opened up the crate. They had this bike shipped in from Germany, and it was a beautifully detailed R18, just like a custom Harley bike would be. So kind of interesting, having some fun with that, and bought a new helmet and thought I'd try it out. A little different departure from the Arai. Wasn't as expensive, but I get a nice discount from the Harley guys. So, but it's got one that has the little sun visor that flips down. And boy,
Yeah,
is
I
that
have one of those on mine. Mine's on a
Yeah,
couple.
I like that,
Yeah.
you know.
Mhm.
And then I mounted a tank bag onto the bike for time being, using some bungee cords, and that came in pretty handy because I found out that at the liquor store down here, you can buy a pint of Captain Morgan for $9.99, or you can buy a quart for $4 more. I don't know if it's a quart,
yeah, I
32,
mean, you're gonna go
48, 64. So I ended up buying more because my wife always taught me to be economical. So
Yeah. yeah.
Good reasoning on that one. I like how you
But-
Well, we
think.
can tell you, you drank it today, right?
oh, not yet. I'm waiting to get off the air.
Uh-huh.
But I did have a ice cold, my first ice cold Miller down here. All the guys are on a non-drinking binge. The new thing is everybody's drinking. It's either it's a Budweiser, and they go, it's NA. And I go, the hell's NA? Non-alcohol.
No alcohol. Yeah.
And I'm like, you're drinking beer that doesn't have alcohol in it. Yeah, it's NA.
Yeah.
It's the big. It's like sweet A. Only now it's NA.
Yeah.
And
Cochran.
yeah, so
Yeah.
you know what I did? I went and got real Miller. Real
Yeah.
Miller.
Yeah.
real,
Exactly.
real booze. Yes.
So I
Larry.
had some fun with that. But boy, I'll tell you, I got a great guest lined up tonight, and I hope that fan base will stick here and listen to this, because if you guys have ever seen Rod Serling, you remember the old Twilight?
Oh, yeah. Those
And
are
he
great.
would always start off with, "I now present to you," and then they go on to some little factoid thing and then he ends with, "Now you're in the Twilight Zone."
Yes.
Well, I'd like to present, in the truest sense, You know, I looked up the word nomad in the dictionary, which I had a hard time finding, so I had to Google it. So I Googled it, and here's what it said: a member of a people who have seemingly no fixed residence, but move from place to place, usually seasonally and within a well-defined territory. And as Rod Serling would say, I now present to you Marty Sluter. Marty Sluter is a gentleman who I've known for many years, just as an acquaintance, never a real personal buddy, but I always know that he's been around for a long, long time. So a couple of days, Marty and I sat down and we started talking about some things. So first of all, I'd like to welcome Marty to the Armstrong Street Scene Power Hour show. Marty, welcome.
Thank you, Larry. It's a pleasure to be here.
And if you look at this guy, he looks like a school teacher. But you know, you read in magazines and you see books and guys write about all their worldly travels. Here, I'd like to present to you a gentleman that has amassed over his writing career 1.3 million miles. That's a heck of a lot of miles. So, Marty, I'd like you to tell our viewing audience how this all began, this journey of yours.
Oh boy, I first bought a Slash 5 in 1972, put 250,000 miles on it, and then moved to Florida and got into K75s. And I've put 1 million miles on 3 K75s, primarily running a mobile detailing business. I detail cars, trucks, and motorcycles from my bike. I go to the customer's house on my motorcycle. I carry a vacuum and all the other things I need to detail a car, and waxes and cleaners, and microfiber rags. In addition to that, I've detailed over 6,000 vehicles in 24 years.
How many?
Amazing ride, 6,000, and that includes 2,500 motorcycles.
Rick, now have you counted how many? Rick is also a detailer. So
Okay.
have you gotten that far yet?
No.
6,000.
Yeah, man.
Now, Rick,
No, not that far. I'm
Rick
only,
is going to
I'm only at 5,500, so.
Oh, yeah.
Marty talks about an R-head in a BMW world. The R-head is the opposed twin air-cooled motor, the thing they call them airheads, the things that have started it all. And it's the most basic of machines. It's got push rods, easy to adjust. They give you a toolkit that you literally could take the bike completely apart. And he graduated up to what he calls the K series, which are inline 3 and 4 cylinder water-cooled motors. And their advanced technology that some say really never caught on. But Marty has 3 of these bikes. They're identical. And he's got engines rebuilt on one and another and that. But let's talk a little bit about those bikes. Your current steed is a K75. Explain exactly to our viewers what that is, Marty.
Oh, it's a K-Series motorcycle that came into being in the mid-'80s. They produced a 3-cylinder and a 4-cylinder K-bike, and they produced them for about 10 years. I have a 94 model. I have actually 3 94 models, and they are basically a liquid-cooled motor, and that handle well, are light. The bike weighs 450 pounds with a full tank of gas, so it's easy to maneuver, and but it'll run across the country, or handle any city traffic or whatever comes up. Last year, I celebrated 50 years of riding BMWs, and I took my I rode my K75 from Vancouver back to Florida in the first 2 weeks of the year. And then 1st of April, I went over to Europe, and I was over in Europe for 10 weeks. I shipped a bike over there and have left it there. And I did another 10,000 miles in Europe in that period of time. I went as far south as Sicily, and then ended up in the Isle of Man towards the end for the TT races. Then I came back home, went to the National Rally in Missouri, and for the BMW Motorcycle Association. And after that, I rode to Newfoundland and then crossed Canada all the way to Vancouver. I did all 10 Canadian provinces last year. So I rode in 35 states, 10 provinces, and 15 Euro countries last year. It was a fabulous
last year.
Yes. Yeah, that was a great way to celebrate 50 years on a Beamer, I thought. So.
Yeah, well, Mark, I'm sure you have products for people that do that. All the, you know,
Tires.
Tires, yeah.
Tires, yes, lots of tires. Yeah.
How's your butt after driving all that way?
you have seats, Mark.
Jesus.
Folks have told me over the years that I've ridden my ass off, so I don't have a big rear.
Really?
Just bone.
One of the things that I'd like to ask you is, when we go back to the very beginning, when you were riding what we call the R bikes, the traditional, what everybody remembers, the 50s, 60s, and 70s airheads. Tell us a little bit about what it was like riding in the beginnings as you started to circumvent, Canada and United States.
Well, for me, it was, I lived in Canada then when I got my bike at first in 1972. And it was just a vehicle to ride around in the summertime because you needed a car for the winter. And so in 27 years, I put 250,000 miles on it. It was a fairly light bike, similar to the bike I ride now, same weight, same size, cc wise. And I enjoyed the heck out of it for 27 years, and then graduated to the K bikes.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez.
The airheads were supposedly simple by choice. You had to do a lot of, so I learned how to deal with that and to maintain the motorcycle. And then when I graduated to the K bikes, I was able to do the same thing. I never learned to be a mechanic, but I've learned to be mechanically skilled just from working on my own bikes and detailing them as well. When I did become a detailer, it was a natural progression to be able to do that, because it's a skill or of something that everyone wants. Everyone wants their vehicles cleaned, and so finding work has never been a problem. I've been able to work in 40 states, 3 Canadian provinces, as well as last year in Germany. So business has been very good, and over the years, and every day I go to a different place every day. Let's put it that way, and which is enjoyable, and generally sleep in a different place every night with the lifestyle that I lead. I have an address in Florida, but for the most part, I'm on the road, particularly in the summer. I have 3 Canadian daughters, and they all live in British Columbia, so they could not live any further away. So I travel on my bike to visit them every summer, and I've been doing that for 20 years. And I work along the way, doing rallies or visiting people at their homes. Sure. And detailing their vehicles. So it's been a great lifestyle, being on the road, and just I generally know where I'm going, but just being in a different place every day and making a few bucks and carrying on.
Well, Marty, let me ask. Oh, go ahead.
I just now the BMWs, the early ones you said in the 70s, the Airheads. Yeah. Are those 4-stroke or 2-stroke?
They were 4-stroke. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. With a dry clutch.
Yep. Okay. Okay. Yeah. But so yeah, you've been around. I'm still blown away. I have to say, how many in 1 year? I can't believe that.
Well, that was last year. Yeah, it was 35,000. Yeah.
Oh my gosh! Yeah.
I'm pretty much.
Here's a couple of things that are important, and I'll get them out real quick. But Marty slept on the beach, slept in a cemetery, slept on the side of road on a state park. But the things that two things that bring to mind, and as I'm a long distance cyclist, but not anywhere, shape or form like you. But sometimes you have to think about safety. And that includes also thinking about how to repair your motorcycle, if you can repair your motorcycle. How did you acquire those skills, both on being safe, knowing where you're at, situational awareness, and how to fix my bike, or what if I can fix it? Because sometimes you can't.
Well, YouTube helps a lot these days. You can
Yes.
get that at the side of the road on your phone anymore if you need it.
Mhm.
But I've learned those skills as I grew into my
So I
motorcycle.
find out a lot of stuff on YouTube. Yep.
Yeah.
And
And,
Marty,
go ahead.
when I think about it too, these are arduous tasks. These are not for mere mortal men. You're far above that. But
Your
when
butt's far above that one.
well,
Yeah, we
when you
don't-
think
we don't-
about it, how do you challenge yourself to continue to keep doing this type of nomadic lifestyle? And how much longer, because we're all getting older, how much longer do you think you will be doing this?
I like to carry it around as long as I can, Larry. And the main reason I do it is because of my daughters. I need to go and visit them. And so I do so annually. And that's why I came up with the business, because I wanted a business where I could earn money as I travel on my motorcycle. And the detailing has been tremendous in that regard.
How do you get all your products there? You got like a trailer or something you tow?
I carry everything in one saddlebag. I've sent you some pictures, and you'll if you look at I have big saddlebags, big aluminum boxes, basically.
And for you viewers that are going to view it, and I'll put that in. Well, we're going to put that in editing, so you'll see that.
Sure. Okay. But regardless, I carry two saddlebags. Obviously, one is dedicated to everything I need for work, which is microfiber rags and all the cleaners and brushes that I need. And the other saddlebag is dedicated to personal things. I also carry a big dry bag. And in that dry bag, I carry a 100-foot cord and a small 1-gallon vacuum shop vac. So I can detail the
Does the bike lean one way with all that stuff on one saddlebag?
It's a load, but it's no worse than carrying a passenger.
That's true.
In fact,
Yeah.
it's probably, and the equipment is less rowdy.
Yeah.
And never
The one, I have just one more question, and it's kind of intriguing to me. When I talk to people that have been doing this 20, 30, 40, 50 years, I always try and ask them, because a lot of them fall in the same era as me, the golden age of motorcycling and that. But Marty, when you look at the beginning and you look at right now, if you can encapsulate how things have changed, both in meeting people, courtesy, safety. I mean, how has this whole nomadic lifestyle changed over the years for you? Or maybe it hasn't.
Well, there wasn't, when I first got my motorcycle, I had a real job in Canada. I was a highway designer up there. And I did that for 25 years, but had my motorcycle available to me in the summer times, and would ride the bike week for in March annually from Canada. Did that several times. But then my wife passed away, and I moved to Florida and met someone else, got a green card, but needed to be able to earn money, and concluded that the best way to do it was with this detailing business.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Something I want to continue to do. I'm 73 years old now, but I feel I still have a bunch of years left in me, and I'm looking forward to more.
Well, you look great. I mean, look at Greg.
Yeah.
No, I know. Well, Larry, he's almost as old as you, right?
I am almost as old as him, but I don't.
Oh
look
no!
as
See,
good.
I was just thinking the other way around, Larry.
No.
Larry B.
No. But I'll tell you what, I did get invited to bingo last night.
Okay, you should be pretty good at that by now.
Bingo? Yeah.
You went to bingo last night.
Captain Morgan, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Marty,
But I'll
hang
tell you
around.
what, you look at Marty and you look at the lifestyle, and I think when I look at a lot of people that has persevered to endure. That to me is Marty. You know, to be able to do one thing and do it well and replicate that year after year after year after year to where you got 20, 30 years of doing the same thing. You're racking up 1.3 million miles. You got, you know, I always thought he just had one motorcycle and kept rebuilding it, because every time I go to a BMW rally, Marty was there working, detailing bikes. And he's like following the racing circuit, only following the different rallies and that. And I'll tell you what, he's got the most wonderful reputation. He's an honest, sincere guy. And there aren't many like that guy. And I look up to him, I'll tell you that.
No, you don't want to hang around, Marty. We want to get to Mark. You know, Marty, I've got some questions for you in a little bit, but Mark Robideau. He is.
You got it.
I didn't screw it up next time, but he's from Eastwood Products. And, you know, Mark, how long, introduce yourself and how long you been with Eastwood Products, and we'll hit on some products that you wanted to highlight as well.
Yeah. What's funny you say you're down there in Florida, Marty. I went to school down in Embry-Riddle. So I spent 5 years down in Daytona. And they were, when we were going to school down there, they were filming Days of Thunder.
Oh,
so they went to our school. They needed people to fill the stands. So they went to our college, and all of us with student IDs, we could go to both Daytona and Volusia County. They did a lot of the short track races at Volusia County. They turned that track into like a Bristol, and so you probably have seen me in that movie. I'm a movie star. I was the one in the bleachers in there. So
yeah, I know. Did you get paid a lot for that?
No, we didn't. No, but
I got a ticket to the movie.
Yeah, I got my FA AMP license. Worked on aircraft for a bunch of years, but then always loved cars. And so I started with Eastwood in '97. I'm the R&D product manager there. We have a lot of great products, a lot of great categories. Rust is one of our biggest. Our customers really, our rust encapsulator products really migrate to that, and the solutions. Blasting, our welders have taken off. I brought on a line of welders in 2010, and that's really taken off. We have MIGs and TIGs that are economical and very performance packed. We're getting into some. Our customers are asking us about multi-process units. We do a lot of customer integration. I'll go to every one of the shows we can. Obviously, we're out at SEMA, seeing what the industry's doing out there. But the customers on the phone, we're laced in from myself, and there's a couple other on the product team, direct with our customer solutions. So when somebody calls in, what do I need? I have a 65 Mustang with rust. What do I need? We have guys that can take them through every product that they want. If they call in with questions, hey, I was using this and ran into a problem, that comes my way and to the team that I work with, and we go ahead and we're constantly updating products, making them better for our customer.
Rick, I'm gonna let you loose with the questions, because I have a whole bunch of questions for Mark and Marty as well. So, Rick's usually the quiet one here on the show, except for the rude comments he makes. But sure. Rick, let loose here.
Hey, Mark, we can get a catalog, can't we, from Eastwood if we wanted one?
Yeah, that's we've actually, due to the cost of print and postage, we're trying to go completely electronic.
Okay, so if you need anything from Eastwood, get it online then.
There's a couple of us that keep fighting for it, but there's cost analysis that are run daily at the business that just show it doesn't cost. The thing with what we really need to do is mail VIN numbers. We're mailing addresses from customers, and that customer can move, that customer can fall out of the hobby. Or what you're having is newer customers that'll enter in, we're finding they may do one vehicle and they may not touch us for 11 years. They're now with McGuire's, they're with the detailing side of it and going to car shows. But if we could follow the vehicle, when that gets sold, somebody else wants to do their flair to it. They want to fix something, but it's hard with the catalog. So
yeah, it's almost an email blast is even a better idea anymore. It doesn't cost anything.
Yeah. You got to watch that you don't hit sometimes we can hit people too many. You don't need 5
Yeah.
emails.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I had a quick
how many
question, if I
products?
could. Oh,
Go ahead,
Rick,
Larry.
I've
Go
always
ahead.
wanted to know, I'm not a welder, but I want to know what the difference is and what the application difference is between MIG and TIG. When do you do this and when do you do that?
Well, TIG, real easy. If you're into your alloys, if you're into your aluminums, titanium, or even stainless, there you want to do your TIG. That's set up for that. For the restoration, MIG is probably your best all around. We got some, you can get, 110 volt input or a 220 input. 110 volt input, you can run 0220 or 023 wire, and you can do all the sheet metal you want. You can put 035 into it and do some 1/8 bracket tabs. You can get a 220 volt welder, and you can do sheet metal all the way up to 1/4 inch on frames.
Yeah.
Most people have 220 at the box, and then you've got, 110, and there's a way of being able to get 220 out of most residential boxes. Am I correct?
Out of the panel, the electrical panel.
Right.
Yep. Yeah, you'll have, pretty much every home that has an electric dryer or a furnace or well pump is going to have 220 available into that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
Good, Rick.
Yeah, Eastwood Corporation has how many products? Quite a few.
Yeah, so we got about 4,500 active products.
Uh-huh.
A little less than 1,000 of them make up a lot of the business.
Yeah.
And we're adding new every day, every week. But then we're also doing SKU analysis. So some products may fall out. Some products may get replaced by something that's either a better price point for the customer. That's what we're always looking at is what's best from the customer. Can we sell them the same performance product at less of a cost for them, or can we keep the price the same and give them better quality product, especially with our chemicals and paints? That's what we try and do. That's some of the projects that I'm working on this week with the team. There is our rust encapsulator products. We're looking on a new moisture cure, putting them into aerosols, which right now no one has an aerosol moisture cure, which is far better than the existing type encapsulators.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So you guys are into a little bit of everything. Like you can detail stuff there. You can get power blasters there.
There's
pressure blasters there. A little bit of everything.
We try and I break it down. You have when you're doing a car, you got sheet metal, driveline, suspension, interior. So what can we do to help cut the cost for each of them? Paint is sort of a separate category because there's a lot of DIYers that they'll take it to primer, but they don't, whether it's comfort, equipment, or capability, they just won't paint themselves. So they'll send that out. That's something now that we're trying to bring back in. Can you get a quality paint job at home?
And I have to step into this, Rick, because I was looking up. Mark had sent all of us some links. The OptiFlow. Now, you got to tell us about that, because if you're not a painter, if you sit there and look back and say, I'm not spraying that car, tell us about the OptiFlow system.
Yeah.
I'm out.
OptiFlow, I designed that for guys that you either didn't have the environment, meaning you didn't have a controlled booth, you're in a 2-car garage, you might be in a residential area, and you didn't have the equipment or skill set to spray the car. So what it is, we took our 2K direct to metal epoxies, which has been out there for years. It's proven. And we worked on the viscosity of that and the chemistry where you can roll it. We have unique urethane rollers.
You could roll it like a paint
How
roller?
cool is that?
You're kidding.
Look at the videos that we have on our site. You roll it. I did a 92 Camaro complete, rolled on. We got some guys at Eastwood that have painted quite a few cars. And even they're holy shit, Mark, that's pretty good. You can take a block and you can just knock off the peaks with 320, and then you're ready to put urethane right on it. So now it allows the guy to get the same high quality chemistry of epoxy that binds to that metal on there, but without the overspray, the equipment, and the skill set.
Unbelievable.
That's amazing. Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Can someone say, I just wanted to know, because I just bought some paint, a little bit here, a little bit there, but it just seems like, and yeah, I know everything has gone up, but it seems to me the paint is really gone up. I mean,
Yeah,
they're running water-based paint. I would think that would be much, much cheaper than.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. What happened during the pandemic, there's only so many raw suppliers or raw material suppliers to the paint industry, whether you're PPG, Axalta, Sherwin, whoever you are, they're buying from the same. There was one of those suppliers that had a problem, and I don't know if it was a fire, but whatever, that really pushed back the supply chain. So whoever did have resins simply jacked the price.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know,
Wow.
Rick, I don't know if you want to touch on something because I've got
Mark. What I thought was really cool was that dustless sander you guys are selling.
Yeah.
now.
Finally. It's about time. You can get one for drywall.
You don't need a mask or anything, huh?
Dustless
No.
sand? Really?
A dustless sander.
So give me 1 second. Let me just run to the other room here and let me get
Okay.
the prototype.
Let him run to the room because I want to tell you about, the dustless sander. If you do any home improvement projects, the best thing you can buy, they have the sander. They hook up the shop vac and you sand, and all the dust goes right in the shop vac. You have to empty it a little bit more, but it's about time that they came out with the dustless sander, because if you do body work, and I do a lot of body work, that dang body filler dust is all over the place. Or if you're sanding a primer, it's all over the room.
When you're done.
Your face is dark. It's horrible. And if you don't wear a mask, you can't breathe.
Well, look how nice your blue car is in the back there. You painted it.
Yeah. This is the industry standard. This is what we've all been using since time.
Forever.
Marty may have used wood and stuff like that.
Marty had to carve his out of stone, right?
This is a traditional block, and you use your traditional paper on here.
Mm-hmm.
These work fantastic, but yeah, it's the dust. So a couple years ago, I was doing a buddy's Chevy pickup in here in my shop. And I couldn't, the week that I wanted to do the sanding, I couldn't roll it outside on the driveway because it was raining. It was just frustrating. So build a prototype. This is it. Now we're not going to, I guess we are sharing it there with everyone.
Yeah.
So you have the same style foam block. It's the same width, but there's the magic. Now there's two things to this nylon plate. One, you put perforated paper on it. And here is a hose that then goes to a traditional shop vac. And on that hose, we have some adapters for different shop vacs. We also have some control valves, because as you get into the finer sandpaper, the block wants to stick. So you adjust these control valves. But the other thing that started about maybe a little more than that years ago, I'm walking around SEMA and I noticed, the big high-end guys, they're doing their final blocking with acrylic plates, 1/4 inch and 1/8 thick. And this acrylic with the traditional foam, you can put your fingernail on that. So if you do have a little high, you may not cut it off. It may just take an indent through there. With the acrylic, they're cutting these things down, and that's where you get that mild, deep.
Nice glass.
We incorporated both. Not only is this plate for the vacuum perforated holes, but this is nylon 6/6 material on here. So it's very rigid, but yet
it's flexible, so you can still go around the curves
to the crowns of the vehicle. Yes. So we just did we're only launching this on social right now, YouTube, Instagram, and our social channels.
And Street Scene Power Hour.
And Street Scene Power, which, you know what, let's do this. I'll send you guys 5 of the first run off to production, and you can give them to your customers, or you can have a giveaway. You could do whatever you want.
We'll do a giveaway.
Yeah.
You'll get a kit. It's the 11-inch block with the hose and everything you need.
Oh my God.
So now we also have a 5-inch block, and then we have a 16. So we cover everything.
Nice for those vans, those big panels, the 16-inch.
Yeah. So it's nice because it gives you the dust free, and you have to watch the videos online because it's not, we didn't Photoshop. There's none of the bullshit on there. We took a little Datsun or Nissan. I did one side, and one of our other R&D guys did the other side. And we just let the camera run for 45 minutes. We're just sanding on a door. And then you look at the ground. We tarp the ground to see what it would catch.
Mm-hmm.
So it's nice that it not only does it not dust spray, but yet it blocks true and flat.
You know, if you're listening to this, I'm going to put the links in the episode because you've got to watch these videos that Mark sent over. I'll put the links in our descriptions for the YouTube broadcast and the Buzzsprout and podcast we'll do because it's interesting. It's really cool because they did show it, and it's like I saw it. I'm like, there's no way, there's no dust from all that, and it is.
And you know, we have every one of our products is 90 days, no question. I mean, we even take back half-used cans of paint.
Oh man,
that's how this is. So if you decide, no, I don't like it, it's not for me, whatever, we take it back.
Yep. Go ahead, Rick.
That dustless sander, that's like pretty reasonably priced too, right? Isn't it like $100 or something?
Yeah, we're doing a pre-sale. We're doing a pre-sale for $99, and that kit gives you everything you need to start, except the paper. The paper you have to, and we have paper from 40 grit to 400.
Okay.
We're using one of the most popular paper manufacturers. We have them we have a patent on this product here, and the patent is on the actual plate. You can't see it on there, but the holes vary in diameter. They get a little bit larger as they go towards the center here, and that controls an even vacuum pull through the block. So the paper has to be punched to our.
So you were the brainchild for this thing then, huh?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a team of us, but yeah, a lot of this, you know, I got 11 patents of stuff, most through Eastwood and through some other companies. It all comes about working on cars. That's why I'm always, if I'm not restoring something for myself, a buddy will bring a car over and, you know, hey, put this on that. And when I come to that hurdle, instead of working around it, and I think it's from the aircraft training, it's like, okay, well, what's the problem and how can we solve it?
Well, I've got an idea for you I've had in my brain for years, and I just never got a patent. I might just give it to you. So maybe you can make some money off of it. You know, you have also a how-to video on body work, and it is an art, and it's not like, you know, you go into the body work, you're not caking on body filler this thick and going back and forth on sanding. There's some tips, and, you know, give us a couple of tips on for people that are starting out, or, you know, just any tips on the body work on,
you know, what I've been pushing through the business for the last couple of years is alternative to experience. So you could have a 40-year body man that's doing for 40 years. He could look at a panel in primer, he could run his hand over it and tell you where the highs and lows.
Yep.
An alternative to that is what's called guide coat. And a lot of people don't use it in the DIY. The pros use it. So what I say for something like that, what I like to do is, so you did some, let's say it's a door, and you had to put some, you know, a rust repair at the bottom of it. So you have some bare metal down there, and whether you take the rest of it to bare metal or you have some feathered out primers, take guide coat to that whole door. And now, like we instruct, you know, you take your block and you just start cross blocking.
Crosshatch sanding.
Yep. And then what you're going to find is you're going to see the black guide coat will stay in all your lows, and all your highs will be the shiny metal. Now you step back where you want your filler. You want to always bring your lows up. So you can do hammer dolly work. If it's only minor, you don't have the hammer dolly skills, you use your filler. But now, instead of, you know, like I say, putting on, you know, like icing on a cake on that whole thing, you can hit your spots. Now you go with guide coat again, keep cross blocking. You'll have fewer and shallower black spots to the whole thing until all of a sudden you're going to get to a nice level panel.
That's good.
Yeah, and a nice thing for the audience to know, really, whether it's Eastwood or others, you know, the polyester surfacers are products that you can spray on, and we also have one in our roll-on OptiFlow system. Just throw that in there. That will take those 320 scratch marks and make them go away. And you'll have a nice layer on there where now you can do the final blocking. And that's what you see when you're watching these professionals when they're doing their panel gapping and really getting that laser straight, is using those surfacers.
Mhm. Yeah,
All about the preparation and get a good paint job.
It is, and there's a lot of
95%.
yeah, and there's a lot of new chemistry, since the 90s in paints. Paints have come a long way very quickly from the 90s. I mean, look how quick waterborne came into the auto. It started in collision, but now it's coming back into our side, in the customization restoration.
Let me jump in there, and it's how long they come. I used to spray acrylic enamel and I've sprayed some lacquer, and that is a disgusting job. If you want glue sticking your fingers, spray the old acrylic enamels and the base clears, even this one-step urethanes. I'm a big one-step urethane guy.
Yeah.
One coat, and you wet sand it, looks like glass, and you can touch up a lot easier.
That's our most popular line.
Yeah,
is our one component urethanes, better selling than our base clears. And it's great for the home hobbyist. That's probably one of the best, because you can, with base, if you spray that on and you get some dirt in there or a bug or something, you got to scuff everything, rebase it, and then do your clear. That. Whereas your single component, I did a 85 Monty SS, and I do blasting and some of my paint out back of my property. Mm-hmm. And I had a video. It looked great. I did white single stage green, and a little we call them stink bugs. I don't know.
Oh man!
Oh yeah, that's what they are. Yep.
He landed on the corner of the deck lid, and I didn't want to tweezer him because he was walking. But then as I walked towards the gap, he pulled off 2 legs and then made it to the gap, and then I could get him. But it's easy, I went back in. Next day came out, hit that with some 400. You can spot it right in.
Yep. And if it's not shiny enough for you, you can lay a clear over it if you want.
You can. Oh yeah. We actually recommend that for.
Yeah. So that's, Rick, you got more questions?
I loved rolling the paint on. I'd love to see how that's done.
The videos really cool.
That would be cool. They do that in boats. Like when you paint a hull, I've done that, and there's a certain method of how to do it, and a roller, what size, thickness, and also there's a method called tipping where you take the paintbrush and you follow it.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm. That's funny you say that, because that's where I got this concept from the marine industry. And there's marine paints where I bought a bunch of them and started using that. The only drawback is they're more used for the hull. So it doesn't have that direct UV stability that the roof, hood, and deck lid of a car would need.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. For sure.
You sell marine paints, Mark?
No, we don't. No.
It's a different animal,
Yeah,
it's different completely, huh?
We tried to get into. I was really enjoying the conversations you guys had about the motorcycles, because we tried touching that industry, and I think the brand loyalty, the bike side looks at us as, well, that's just car restoration.
Well, there's 2 guys to ask if that's the case right here. The 2 best guys in the world to ask if that's the case, that the brand loyalty comes into effect with even buying from Eastwood products, because, car guys, we know them.
Well, as Marty will tell you, BMW, their paint line is called Glasserite. And Marty, you might want to talk about, since you've done a lot of detailing on BMWs.
About the paints, my gosh, that's something I know very little about. I'm busy cleaning paints, and I've never applied any paint, so I don't know the ins and outs of it. So I've been very intrigued by listening to Mark's a method of painting. So thank you for that, Mark.
Yeah, and we also have a product. It's our 2K aerosols. It's a traditional aerosol can. But in the can is a chamber internal, and that has your activator. So you can use I
saw that on your site.
You can use a 2-component urethane. So you have clears, we have epoxies, we have surfacers, we have colors, many colors. We also have a lot of our high temps in engines. Our engine 2Ks are one of our best sellers. So you can now, instead of traditional getting a quality paint, mixing the activator and using a little jam gun or something to do an engine block, we now have it in an aerosol can. And it's about $24. Now it seems when I say aerosol can at $24, you're like, whoa. But you're getting a 2-component catalyzed urethane product out of it.
Yeah. Now go to a paint shop, and nothing against United, yeah, because they're awesome. But paints again are expensive, and you go buy a clear, you go buy your activator, you go buy your reducer, you go buy your base coat. Add that up into how much an aerosol can would. It'd be more. Guaranteed.
I just bought some dye for my seats, and it was like $24 a can.
Yeah.
I needed 6 of them.
Yep. And what I like about Eastwood products is, again, you've got the most unique things. If you want to say, I wonder if they make something like that. Every time you Google it, it's Eastwood products comes up with it. It's like, I'll be damned. I knew it, so
appreciate it. Here's an example of that. I had it was my late model. It was a Dodge truck, and I was in the dash. I don't know if it was radios replacing or something, but I had to splice some wires. And traditional, all I needed to do was a terminal on a crimp tool. So you have these, and you have this type crimp tools. Well, I couldn't physically get these into the area. So I cut this apart, welded it, did what I need, built the prototype. It turned into, this is now the product that we sell, which will crimp a terminal inline this way. So you can go right into
Thank God.
Without having to.
That's the biggest pain when you have to get it sideways. And then your connection falls out, and you're digging on the floor for it.
Yeah. Another little one, like holes along cars. If you wanted to fill trim holes, or if you had just a couple rust pitted holes, a rust pitted hole, you can't just start MIG welding around that, because the metal around it is already compromised and thin.
You're gonna have a hole this big.
So I came up with this little kit. It's you have a step drill bit.
Okay.
And then what we have is various sized 18 gauge plugs. We call it our plug kit. So depending on the size of the hole, these are sized exact interference fit to the diameters on here. So you drill a hole in the sheet metal. Let's say it's a little 1/4-inch hole that's rusted or something. Drill that out.
That cuts it out. Okay.
Yeah. We have 3/8 size, a bunch of different size metal, and then put this in, just weld right around it.
Nice.
That's welding into nice, structurally strong metal. You're not welding around that compromised, corroded area.
Yeah, because that compromised area, even if you're looking in front, it might be a pinhole. You go in the rear, and it's rusted all the way around. So all that metal needs cut out.
You're exactly right. Yep.
Yeah. And that's frustrating, to say the least. Real quick, we're running out of time. Mark, any other products that you want to kind of give a shout out to that you're doing now? And I've got one.
I wanted to, and I haven't run this by our president or anything, so when he sees this, he'll probably say something. But this is one of our bestseller tools that we launched in a while. It's called our
That thing's cool.
We have probably 30 different drums. It'll strip paint. It'll strip Bondo. You can strip a vehicle with it. Same thing. I'll send you 2 of these.
Oh.
That you can give to however you want to give to the viewers. And then we can talk later. I'll send, again, 5 kits of the
Wow. You know what?
Sanding block.
Yeah, because I was reading, again, I'll include the links. If you're ever stripping Bondo off and you're on if you've got a sander or a grinder or something with a disc wheel, and it's throwing stuff all over the dang place. You got stuff on your ceiling, your walls, and you got dust in the air. That thing, I was watching it, and it spins forward, correct? And it rolls all the stuff right down on the bottom. So you're not throwing Bondo chunks and paint and primer everywhere.
Yeah.
Mark, I think you probably guaranteed several repeat visits on the Armstrong Street stage.
Yeah, there's a lot to talk about, I'll tell you.
Yeah, we But again, we want to get to the real fun part here. Marty, I want to get to you. And again, Rick and Larry know what's coming. Your dream motorcycle. I got to know what your dream motorcycle is right now.
Marty, you still there?
Something to me. Okay.
Yeah, Marty.
Motorcycle. It's totally the one I'm riding, my friend.
There you
I
go.
would not want to ride anything else. I've got a bike for life. I know how to handle it. I know how to maintain it. And after all, putting all these miles and having three different three of the same model, it's become second nature to be able to make it go, basically.
Okay.
When something goes wrong with it, I can generally narrow it down fairly instantly, and I can all of my own maintenance. And in addition to that, it would be, I think, difficult for me to set up my business on any other kind of a bike, mainly because the K75 is a good, nice low seat, and the weight is low. We're looking at 450 wet. So you go down the road with a big load of stuff, it isn't so bad. If you have a 900-pound motorcycle, then that's a whole different story. Especially if you're a smaller guy like myself. I'm only like 160 and maybe 5'10" now, so I'm not a very big guy. So I don't need a great big bike. I want something that I can handle and familiar with.
Hey, Marty, what do you charge to detail a bike and a car?
Well, my base rate generally is $40 an hour. And,
Okay, 40. That's good. Yeah.
That's how more often than not, I'll get more.
Mhm.
That's where I start out at, and that's a figure I've been using for a number of years now. And probably it's been suggested that I should raise it, but regardless, I'm comfortable with that. And so to spend 2 hours on a motorcycle, it's going to be $80 or $100. If it's 4 hours, well, I know you can do the math. Similarly with a car, I'll easily spend 4 or 5 hours on a big SUV. So you're looking at $200, $250. So it's a nice afternoon's work, in my opinion, especially with me, because I have no overhead in my business except my motorcycles.
There you go.
So how do you get your clientele then? You're all over the place.
After being in business 25 years, it just has multiplied. I initially went door to door when I started out, but after that I got yellow pages, and then going to rallies and meeting folks, and then being invited to come to their homes all over the country. And word of mouth helps a lot. These days I've got a little internet ad as well down where I live in South Florida. But and often if I'm working, I'll get other jobs just because
people see you doing it. Yeah.
They see me doing
word of
it.
mouth. Yep.
Well, Marty, how do people?
Sorry, I got advertising on my saddlebags, and I'll be driving down the street, stopping at a traffic light, and someone beside me will say, "Well, what's your number?" or "What do you charge?" or "Can you follow me home?"
Well, how can we get in touch with you there, Marty?
The best way is by phone, call or text, and my number is 850-443-4214.
Do you have an internet site at all?
Just Facebook. I have a Facebook page under my name, Marty Sluter.
Okay.
How you spell Sluter?
Say spell it one more time, because Rick couldn't keep his mouth shut for a minute.
Okay. Here we go. It's Sluter. Sluyter.
There you go. So you know what? Mark, I've got the same question for you. Your dream car, dream motorcycle. There's got to be something.
I had my only bike that I owned was a 73 Yamaha RD350. Liked it, only rode it a little. It was in high school. I didn't get the grades my dad wanted, so he made me sell it.
Oh,
Ouch.
yeah. Yeah.
A car, I like anything. I like any muscle car, anything.
What are
Could
you
be
working on
Ford,
behind?
Chrysler,
What are you working on behind you there?
That's a 80. It's a 80 Trans Am. I'm gonna do
Nice.
a Bandit clone.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Yeah, I've seen quite a bit of those on for sale from Marketplace lately, and those prices they're going up now. Yeah, they're really going up. My buddy he had a 78. It was a black Bandit. It needed restored, but he sold it for $3,000 and it was solid. And I'm like, you're going to regret that. I'm like, yeah, he does regret that now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But that's good to know. Mark, Eastwood products, you got to check them out. Like I said, the most unique products that you need, because if you're looking for something, go there because they have it. It's unbelievable what they've got. How do you get a hold of it?
The best thing, you guys asked about the catalog. Since we can't put all the products in your lap from your mailbox, just go to eastwood.com. We got a nice little search box up there. Whatever you're looking for type it in there. Because if you just try scrolling through the website, you'll get bored and lost. But put it in there, and then that'll start drilling you down into what you need.
Yeah, I never get bored on your website because that's like kids in a candy store for all that stuff. Yeah. So, Mark and Marty, we want to thank you. We want to have you back.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, definitely want to. Marty, you've got more stories to tell, and I want to hear them. Mark, we can't thank you enough. You've got more products to talk about. We want to have you back on. And we want to thank you for the Street Scene Car and Custom Bike Show that's coming up in July, because we might have Eastwood. We'll order some products and have them as raffle items. So we'll be doing that this year because I'm always looking for unique stuff to order from a company and raffle off. So there it is this year. So look forward to that.
I'm really honored. I really appreciate the invite.
Yeah, we couldn't have enjoyed this more. So
it was great meeting all of you, gentlemen.
As well, gentlemen. Thank you.
All right,
Hey,
for Larry
thank
Ward.
you, Marty. Thank you, Mark.
Thank Marty. For Larry Ward, Rick Guerrero. My name is Greg Roten. This has been Armstrong Street Scene Power Hour. And Larry, you say it.
We'll see you down
the road.
Down the road. I'll say, yay.
All right.